Guys, do you
All
know
right,
Simone
people.
Biles? If you are African, you are black and you're watching this, do you know Simone Biles? And even if you're not African and you're not black, can you just, if you pass by this video, can you just comment whether or not you knew Simone Biles? Because the truth of the matter is, and it's interesting because the video that I wanted to make before this one is about like hypergamy as an African girl and what black girls can learn from Shira Seven, because that's a woman who talks about hypergamy. I was going to talk about that, and then the whole Simone Biles thing happened, and I decided to just talk about this. So if you've not yet seen the video, I'm going to play a little bit of it in the clip as we go on. But let me just start by saying that, guys, do you know Simone Biles? If you are African, you are black and you're watching this, do you know Simone Biles? And even if you're not African and you're not black, can you just, if you pass by this video, can you just comment whether or not you knew Simone Biles? Because the truth of the matter is, I have not been in North America for up to 3 years, but I knew Simone Biles before I came here. And I'm not an athlete. I'm not American. I'm not African American. I came from Africa. I was never in Europe before I came to North America, but I managed to know Simone Biles. So how somebody who is married to one of the number one athletes in the whole world can say that he doesn't know the person, the woman that he's married to, that he didn't know her before, and he wasn't dying in appreciation when she started to message him, is amazing to me. And obviously that's a very, very big narcissistic lie. In my opinion, from watching what this man said, and you can take a look at it here. So this guy not only goes on to embarrass his wife, and you can see watch the clip. I'm gonna post it now. You can see the laugh on the face of the interviewer because he can tell that this is just some rubbish shit this guy was saying. The worst part of this is that this Simone Biles husband, whose name I don't know, and I didn't bother to Google his name because he's irrelevant, but he clearly wants to make himself seem like a relevant person. He would have made himself more relevant. He would have gained more followers if he had spoken reverently of Simone, if he had spoken respectfully of her, if he had spoken of her in a way that just shows, in a way that was dignifying. Guys, because women are vulnerable species. I keep talking about this.
First thing that I saw was that she just had a bunch of followers. So in my mind, I'm like, okay, she got to be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college, and we didn't have NBC, we didn't have Olympic channels, and we're in camp. Late July, early August. So I'm not paying attention to, So I never would have had a moment to where I would have watched,
Jonathan, I'm gonna let you finish your story, man. Continue.
But like I was saying, man, she messaged me. This is like a Tuesday.
So is he saying that he didn't know who she was? I don't know about that. That's a little hard to believe, to be honest with you. That's a little hard to believe. For you to not know who she was at that time, and you're black, so you don't know this black woman who is like really good at something. Like, you don't know who she is. That's.
Hope that every man who stops by my page gets this sunk into their brain. Women are physically weaker than men, and socially, we've been under like men for such a long time, under the patriarchy, that now the society is really stepping up to protect women because of that vulnerability. Speaking well of a woman is like speaking well of a child. Speaking ill of a woman is like you're abusing a child, because it's the same power dynamics at play. So if he had come out and spoken well of her, he would have gained more respect. I would have loved him. I would have respected him. I would have followed him. But no, he had to come out and embarrass a black legend, because that's what Simone Biles is. She is a legend. And I'm just like holding my head. I'm like, gosh, Simone, where did this go wrong? I'm going to tell you guys that where it went wrong. So it always starts with low self-esteem. And the problem with achievement is that achievement does not always equal high self-esteem, guys.
Usually,
Let that be at the back of your mind. If you're a man or you're a woman, achievement does not always equal high self-esteem. So if you are a high achieving man or woman, you might be the type of person that has imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome basically means that you're separated from your success by the things that you've internalized about yourself from childhood. And I know people like to lie to themselves, but the truth is low self-esteem does not happen in a vacuum. We
when
all have
he
our
knows
shit
his
we have to
woman
work through. I've had
is
my own
gonna
shit
hear
I had to
that.
push through, but
And
you
that to
need to
me
be
is the
honest enough with
problem,
yourself to
is the lack of
recognize that if
empathy.
you're an adult
So
and
we're
you
gonna
have
see what he
persisting low
says,
self-esteem that you keep
and we're
working
gonna
on,
see
your
whether or
family
not I
abused
agree.
you.
And also towards the end, we're gonna
I don't
teach
know why
you
people
what.
like to lie to themselves about these things, but that's just it. And if you keep lying to yourself, you're not gonna ever heal. If you're an adult and you're struggling with low self-esteem, you have a lot of achievement, you're still like working to heal those low self-esteem blocks, it's your family. Because that's where you had your most fundamentally vulnerable moments in your life, and it decorates the whole of your adult life unless you seriously take the time to work on it, buy the right courses like my confidence series course. We all know Simone Biles' story. We know that she was raised in foster care. We know how foster care affects children. We know how being placed in a foster home makes you feel like you don't belong. If you don't know that, well, I'm telling you now. We also know that Simone was abused by one of her coaches. These are stories that I knew, even though I was not in the US. I knew the story. So you can imagine the dumbass, idiotic husband saying he doesn't know these things about the woman, the legend that he married. What a liar. So if you have self-esteem that is low, you have to start working on it. A lot of girls spend a lot of money, and I'm going to come to Cardi B next in my next video. A lot of girls spend, and I only analyze this content not just as celebrity commentary, but from the standpoint of mental health, because that's really what I stand for. A lot of girls and a lot of guys work on the physical. They spend a lot of money, they get surgery done, which is what Cardi did. They achieve a lot of things, but they don't spend time to work on the self, the inner love, the inner child, what you think you deserve. And when you think that you deserve less, you get less. When you think you deserve more, you get more. And you could act like you deserve less as a tactic. That's completely different from actually thinking that you deserve less. You could be humble, you could act humble. I act humble a lot, but inside of me, I am still like constantly thinking, is this situation being fair to me? And if, because I've had my own challenges, if the picture is not clear to me, because that's what happens when you have to like struggle with true self-esteem, yeah, if the picture is not clear to me of a situation, whether I'm getting fair treatment or not, I call in a third person. And once I get the perspective of my friends, one of my friend or the other who may also be aware of all these dynamics, once I get their perspective, I don't question it, because most times their perspective will be on the lookout for what's best for me. Because those are the kind of friends that I keep around me. People who are on the lookout for what's best for me, like I am on the lookout for what's best for them. So if you've not yet done the inner work and you're a girl and you're watching this, avoid making a huge embarrassment of yourself by clicking the link on my comment section and going to check my course for true healed self-confidence, where you can have partners, business partners, romantic partners, friends who really love, adore you, but most importantly, respect you, because that's what's clearly lacking in Simone Biles' relationship with this guy. If I was her, the moment I left this, I would file for divorce, because he not only says that she went ahead and chased him and whatnot, he also emphasized the fact that she drove to meet him. And I don't know why she would do that, because maybe he asked her to come see him, and instead of saying, oh, the roads are not safe for a girl, or something like that, she jumped in, being the ambitious woman that she is, to go see this guy. Listen to me, ladies. Like, you can be ambitious all you want. You can be nice all you want. You can be polite all you want. But when you're dealing with men, the game is completely different. It's
We
like,
weren't seeing eye to eye.
it's not the same rules at all. The game is completely different. Like, my friends know me. I can be so nice. I can be nice to children. I can be so empathetic. But when I am dealing with a guy, the psycho in me comes out. Like, the crazy in me just comes out. Because I know as a mental health worker that men, that's what they respect. You see that nice girl, they're going to step all over you. You got to be a little bit like Eve if you want men to respect you. If you want him to eat that apple that God told him not to eat because of you, well, you gotta play Eve. So I hope that this really, like, this analysis goes into it a little bit. And honestly, there's a lot of ways that she could have gone about getting his interest if she was interested in him at all, without it blowing up like this. And Simone is not an ugly girl. The guy, people keep saying that he's cute. He's not cute, not to me. He just has like, he has done a lot of work on himself, which she could have also done on herself. I see the both of them as equal in looks. He has like a couple of dimples here. You can create dimples. I hope you guys know. You can create dimples by a walk into the doctor's clinic. And then he has his hair woven. She made the wrong choice with this guy. She could have gone for someone 10 years older. She could have gone for a white guy who would value her feet stature. You see, these African American men, I'm sorry to say, oh, I really don't have a lot of respect or anything good to say about African American men. I'm not talking about African men because a lot of African men have common sense and they actually know that a woman is supposed to be like taken care of by a man. And if you are running after an African man, they might even call you aside and even give you advice because they might be like, this thing that you're doing is not really the best way to go about it. But African American men, it seems, are just looking to take advantage of women. And I'm so sorry, I don't want to generalize, but it's starting to look like that a little bit. Not all of them, obviously, but people like Simone
All
Biles'
right,
husband,
people.
even though not all African American men are crappy, egg-headed people, they definitely paint black men poorly. You just took a legend in the black community. You threw her on the floor. You made her look like a complete idiot. And how do you think you're going to progress in your career? I'm not going to be surprised if domestic violence is going to happen in this house if it's not already happening. And bear in mind, domestic violence starts with disrespect, minimalizations, and someone deliberately attempting to make you feel small or to minimize you and your accomplishment. And if you want to understand how to never end up with this kind of guys, do not forget. Do not forget to send an email to the email in the comment section so that you can join my True Confidence course. If you are short up in yourself and absolutely like confidence in yourself and your ability to see the world, to trust what you feel, your perception and everything, you won't waste time with this kind of idiots. You will see them from afar. And it's important to take a course like that and to heal, not just buy pretty clothes, because you see things like dating and this type of men, it's beyond just even like it's beyond accomplishments, it's beyond just being able to spot disrespect. There's a lot of wounds going on here that can prevent a girl that has been abused or a girl that has had low self-esteem for a long time or even a boy to not see the complete picture. For example, this thing that has happened now, a girl who is able to like see the complete picture, who has done the inner work, will recognize these red flags and pull off. But someone like Simeon, she's going to convince herself that it's not a big deal and she's the one making it into a big deal. And he's going to jump on that train and tell her the same thing. And all of that is called gaslighting. And when that happens, she's going to write this off